Hi everyone, welcome to week 3 of our class. This week we're really going to talk a lot about communication and relationships. So for this week, I'd like you to read chapter 8 in your textbook, which is about building positive relationships through communication. And I'd also like you to read about the concept of serve and return. There is a link to that under in your read materials in the table of contents. And then I have a few videos for you to watch. Great TED Talk by Rita Pearson about every kid needing a champion, about building positive connections with students, and talk about how making rules with children helps them to understand the rules. And that's going to tie into what our assignment is this week. And then also some information, a video about activities for differentiating instruction. So this week for our discussion, we're going to talk about how communication with children is important and the way that we say things and the impact it can have on the behaviors of children. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to think about a situation you've experienced where if positive communication strategies could have been used to have a different or better outcome than what actually happened. So it can be something that happened in a classroom, or it can be something from your personal experience. So just an experience where if you had communicated or a person had communicated more positively, it would have changed the outcome. And I want you to think about how positive communication could have been used and how these same strategies could be employed in an early childhood classroom. And that's, if you're talking about a situation in a classroom, talk about how they should be employed. And if you're talking about a personal situation, think about how you can transfer that skill. And then I'd like you to think about suggesting positive communication strategies when you look at other people's situations that they have posted. Then you're going to have a Google form that you need to be signed into your BayPath account to access. There is no grade for this form. You'll just get 10 points for participation. You can redo it as many times as you need to. And you're going to look at different phrases, and you're going to decide if the phrase is a form of passive communication, assertive communication, or aggressive communication. And then you have 3 short answers just to give examples of what is passive communication, what is assertive, and what is aggressive communication. So again, this is not a graded assignment, but you will get credit for participation. And then finally, I said we were going to be discussing classroom rules. So this week's assignment is you're going to imagine that you're in a classroom, in a classroom at circle time with 18, 3, and 4-year-olds. And you're going to want to help them to understand what is expected of them in the preschool setting. So you're going to begin the conversation with them by asking, what rules should we have in our classroom? And it's been my experience that especially 3 and 4-year-olds come up with a whole list of things we shouldn't do. And I've given you that list. Don't hit other people, don't bite, never throw toys, don't put paint on anything but paper, don't yell, don't run, etc. No biting. And what I want you to do is I want you to help the students, talk about the process of how you're going to help the students boil all of these negatives down to 3 to 5 positive classroom rules. So you can do 2 or 3 pages of a paper or a 3 to 4 minute video explaining how you would do this. So how you're going to get them from this laundry list of don'ts to 3 to 5 simple rules for your classroom that are positive rules. Make sure you explain how you would get the children from the don'ts to the what is expected of them. And then explain why this wording that you're helping the children come up with makes the rules clear and manageable and developmentally appropriate. And also, why is it important to have classroom rules? And then to tie everything up, why is it important for you to have the children help you make these rules? So that is our assignment this week. I hope you have fun with it. I think it's really sort of a slice of life because I know every year in my classroom, that's exactly what happened is I would get the kids together to make our classroom rules and we would come up with a whole list of don'ts. And then I would have to work with them to come up with 3 to 5 manageable, understandable classroom rules that were worded positively that the children really did help craft. Take care. Have a great week. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a line. Bye-bye.